buying a car, having a wedding ceremony, paying for college tuition, buying a house, building your own business, vacation, retirement, freedom. These are just of the few things you need to save money for in order to avoid suffering through massive debt. I'm Bryan Jones, writer and content manager at Just One Dime. And today, I'm going to give you 22 money-saving tips that I personally used. I used to live in one of the most expensive cities in the United States, Los Angeles, near downtown, while earning only $12 an hour, which is the minimum wage for LA proper. And yet, not only did I make it okay living alone, but I saved money. As of this year, I am homeowner in the hottest housing market in the US, Austin, Texas. I was able to pay the entire down payment from my savings alone. My future wife makes more money, but I had more savings. I don't say that to brag. I say that so that you know that these tips and guidelines I'm about to give you are real and can lead you to a better life where you don't have to stress about money. Now, if that sounds good to you, do me a quick favor. Like this video right now and subscribe so you don't miss any videos showing you the path to a better financial future. And don't worry, I'm not gonna go all reductionist on you and go after your avocado toast or morning coffee like an out-of-touch elite. No, instead, I'm only gonna give you tactical tips that I have used personally. You're not gonna wanna miss a single one of them. Number one, enjoy free entertainment options at your library. Your public library is free to use. With today's digital sorting systems, you can easily find thousands of books that can enrich your life. Not only that, but most libraries also carry DVDs, Blu-rays, CDs, board games, and more. Since I moved to Austin in 2019, I've saved almost $1,000 just by renting from the library instead of buying. These are items that I recently borrowed from the library. Here, take this. I didn't even plan this. I just had them on me since I'm returning them today. Before I go on, I'm gonna ask you to do one thing. Share this video so you get the word out to your friends and loved ones on how to save money. Tip number 2, get the best entertainment bang for your buck. When you opt to pay for entertainment, think how to make the most of each dollar. So, for example, if you go to the movies by yourself and you pay $10 for a matinee ticket for a 2-hour movie, pretty typical, then you paid $5 per hour of entertainment. In general, you can get the best return on your entertainment dollar with video games and TV antennas. Once you pay a one-time cost for a TV antenna, you get all of your local channels through the airwaves for free. I have this in my own home and I'm never going back to paying for satellite or cable. With video games, you can pay the one-time cost of your console or computer and buy older games for $20. And those can last you hundreds, if not thousands of hours. Maybe you shouldn't play that much, but you can, it's fun. For example, you can buy the newly polished Mass Effect trilogy of games for $60 and replay it for hundreds and hundreds of hours, still have barely even touched the surface when it comes to combat, choices, and its excellent narrative. And if you use a subscription service like Netflix for $15, you can milk it for way too much time in front of your television. Tip number 3, remove the subscriptions you don't need. First of all, cut the cable cord. I don't miss it, you won't miss it, Netflix is cheap. Second, you don't need Netflix, Disney+, HBO Max, Hulu, Prime, Peacock, Paramount+, Apple TV+, Crunchyroll, ESPN+, YouTube Premium, Curiosity Stream, StarPlay. Okay, I'll stop, but you get the idea. And not just for streaming services. Go through your bank statements and cancel any subscriptions that you can do without, because we're kind of in that sort of space today where everything's subscription, right? YouTube is free. Hint, hint. The subscribe button is right there. Tip number 4, do not fall prey to the sunk cost fallacy. What is the sunk cost fallacy? Just because you've invested time, money, or energy into something does not mean that you should spend more time, energy, or money on it just to make your investment worth it. In other words, we as people tend to follow through with something that we shouldn't just because we've previously invested in it. For example, if you have Amazon Prime, don't feel like you have to make a bunch of purchases on Amazon just to make Prime worth it. Or more seriously, don't marry into an irreconcilable relationship just because you've invested years of your life into that person. Divorce is expensive. Number 5, rent the things you need to use for one specific task instead of buying. It's such a waste of money if you're buying a tool, costume, or karaoke machine that you only use once. Save money by renting one-time use items. For example, I recently rented a belt sander for $16 from Home Depot instead of buying the exact same belt sander for $284. Now, I'm not a woodworker, so there probably won't be another occasion where I'll use one. 6, buy necessities to avoid having to replace cheap items over and over. It's expensive to be poor. It's a classic idiom, but how does that work? How can it be too expensive to be poor if by being poor, you don't have the money to spend on expensive things? That's because when you have only little money to spend, you're often forced to purchase temporary solutions that you'll then have to replace. For example, I recently needed a shovel. It's all good, Seth. That was for landscaping. Anyway, I needed a shovel. Having had previous experience with shovels in the Boy Scouts, I knew that shovels with wooden handles would often split under the stress of being used as a shovel. So instead of buying a reasonably priced $9 shovel, like this one, I got a steel shovel, like this one, for $40. Given enough strenuous use, 4 of those wooden handle shovels would break. And it costed me time, more money than the cost of the one-time $40 shovel. Another common place to apply the buy quality, not cheap tip is in the realm of electronics. Don't buy the newest item, but if you invest in, let's say, a desktop computer, if you buy more RAM and storage capacity, then you probably won't have to replace it only 3 years into it, like if you bought the cheap model. Look for value where you can and not necessarily what is the lowest price, but also budget for those one-time expenses. Number 7, train yourself to be financially disciplined by spending cash instead of card. This is an old trick back from the days of yore before Venmo and PayPal and Amazon. Remember the analog days? Something happens in your brain when you have to physically hand over paper bills instead of a card. Even though you're paying the same amount of money when you hand over cash, it feels more real, it's tactile. This will help give you pause before spending here and there. It can also prevent overspending if that's one of your bad habits. Wean yourself off of this practice once you've obtained more discipline with your spending because no one wants to carry around and pay with spare change. So a lot of times those coins just become wasted money if you use cash instead of cards. Because, I mean, what are you gonna do with a single dime? 8, pay off your credit card in full each month. Easier said than done, right? Well, the only good reason for having a credit card is to raise your credit score. Do not treat credit cards like instant bank loans. Treat it instead like your debit card that you cannot take out more money than you have at the moment. Do not pay interest and go into debt through credit card use. If you're in debt now, don't add to it. And if you're not in debt, keep it that way. If you don't have the self-control to do this, then get rid of your credit card, as painful as that might be. The only good debt is when you've gained assets that will pay off, like your own house or your own business. If you cannot pay off your credit card debt, watch this video on how to make a budget so that you can gain control over your finances. In that video, I will even show you where in your budget you should account for paying off the debt. It'll also show you how you should fit kids and pets into your budget. 9. If you travel by car, buy used cars from reliable car brands. Cars go down in value, which makes them liabilities, not assets. It does not benefit you to have car debt like it might for home ownership. As soon as you drive the car off the lot, it loses value. New cars lose 15 to 25% of their value every single year for the first 5 years. Instead, let someone else bite that bullet. You can get a car that's practically the same quality, gently used. When you choose a used car, you're probably concerned about the wear or if the owner took care of it and if it'll fall apart within a year. And then instead of being on the hook for a car payment, you have the AC or the alternator fixed. The risk of that happening drastically goes down if you buy a used car from a reliable car manufacturer such as Toyota, Ford, or Honda. Not Tesla, sorry Tesla. What? Also, only buy a car that you need. Okay, so for example, you don't need an F350 just in case you're ever gonna haul something. Only get an expensive vehicle like that if you 100% need it. Tip number 10, watch your electricity intake. Turn off the light from every room after you leave it. Turn the AC up to 76 or 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Unplug small appliances not in use, that saves as well. Use inexpensive, energy efficient light bulbs. You can end up on top if you save a little here and there. 11. Look for housing bargains from individual complex owners. This is the #1 part of my budget where I saved money living in LA. The average rent in the area in LA that I lived was over $2,200. My rent? A third of that. How? Because I got a deal from an individual complex owner. It was an unpleasant experience to live in, and it literally had no windows. This, no windows, but it was cheap. Companies that do apartment leasing at scale, ironically, don't have the best pricing deals. So you may have to lower your standards, but the money you will save will be so worth it. And you'll be able to afford a better living situation, like a house, in the future. Remember, living situations do not have to be permanent. Be patient and scan the deals on several different rental sites like apartments.com, Zillow, and Trulia. Too many people overspend on housing today. Target a home that will cost you 25% of your income or less if you can. After housing, food was the #2 part of my budget where I saved the most money. So I have a few tips dedicated to food. Do not buy fast food. Cook at home. You've heard it before. Eating healthy is so expensive. That's a complete myth.
It's false. It never happened. It's a fake. It's fiction.
No, absolutely not true. 0% truth to this. Unless you stick to one item from the dollar menu, and let's be honest, that's not enough. It's always going to be cheaper if you buy your food from grocery stores instead. You can easily choose healthy options for $2 per meal at grocery stores. Okay, you're skeptical, I can tell. Let's put fast food to the test with a direct comparison. The cheap champion fast food from Wiener Schnitzel versus the challenger from a grocery store chain. Both are available here in the great city of Austin. Wiener Schnitzel's cheapest hot dog is the plain dog for $1.59. It doesn't even have mustard on it, which is frankly not something you want to buy. Meanwhile, from HEB, we have Hill Country Fair chicken and pork meat franks, 8 counts, for 61 cents. Plus, we need Hill Country Fair hot dog buns, 8 count, for 88 cents. All right, here's fun math time. At 19 cents per hot dog, the grocery store dog wins. You can also afford to get mustard with other toppings you want from H-E-B and still build a quick and easy meal for less than the price of one plain hot dog at Wiener Schnitzel. Heck, you can even get 8 grocery hot dogs for the price of one fast food dog. Now that's value.
But Jay, that's a hot dog. I want to eat healthy.
Yes, you can get whole wheat buns and lean turkey hot dogs for little cash too. You can do fruits, veggies, lean meats, and a ton of other healthy food. If you're on low income, avoid spending more than $5 per meal, max. 13, don't go grocery shopping on an empty stomach. Do you ever walk through the grocery aisles and going, oh, that looks good, I want to try that. And then you're hit with the total at the checkout counter and you don't know how it got so high. It's too embarrassing to put away, so you pay it and your bank account weeps. You can make a shopping list all you want, but when you're hungry, the will is weak. Give yourself the resolve to say no to Chiquiles Rojo by going to the grocery store on a full stomach. 14, when grocery shopping, always compare price per ounce. Most grocery stores do this on their shelves. When it lists the price, it also says the price per ounce, gram, pound, or whatever unit measure is relevant to you. For example, let me show you the H-E-B website listing for hot dog buns. This is how you know you're gonna get the best deal. 15, trade in high-cost foods for less expensive options. First of all, tofu. Meat is one of the most expensive items that can go on your grocery list. And you need that protein to come from somewhere. I'm not vegan, that's Seth. I'm just saying 40 grams of protein in this for $1.89 in a package of tofu. For reference, a chicken breast contains about 24 grams of protein. So yeah, tofu's pretty good. Also, beans, carrots, rice. All three have a long shelf life, are filling and inexpensive. And if you do buy meat, do not buy that one, the one that's not airtight, buy that one. Yeah, that one. That one is going to be sealed and last you much longer. You want to avoid food waste. 16, replace the drinks in your fridge with filtered tap water. Let's say you got an extreme discount on soda, like a fruity drink, water, anything really. Let's say it's $1 for a gallon. Great deal, right? Tap water in the US is about 0.004 cents per gallon. Great disparity, right? Now, depending on where you live, the tap water tastes awful. So get a water purifier like this one. And a $5 pure water filter can last for 40 gallons, costing you 15 cents per gallon. Not only that, but water is better for you than any other drink out there. 17, keep yourself fit through running and floor exercises. It is essential to keep your body healthy when you're on low income, especially. If your body gives out, that can cost you thousands in medical bills and missed income. You gotta plan for this. It doesn't take a ton of money in gym memberships or expensive equipment to get yourself fit. You can watch hundreds of YouTube videos with floor exercise demos. In most cases, your body weight, maybe too much, is all the resistance you need. Also, running outside is a great way to knock off pounds and keep your heart pumping for years to come. And hey, if you want a workout buddy or want to join in on my marathons, leave me a comment below. 18, get preventative health care. Yes, we're still on the health. It's far less expensive to get a doctor's exam and preventative medicine.
Cholesterol is a little high.
For if and when your body disagrees with you. 19, buy store brand products rather than name brand products. there is a great difference in the perceived value between generic products and branded products. Building your own business with branded products is actually one of the main things we teach on this channel. Click below to find out more about that. But if the product is consumable, like printer ink, food, or over-the-counter medication, the generic is just as good as the branded item for a much lower cost. Let's take Tylenol, for example. Regular acetaminophen and Tylenol are literally and legally required to be the exact same thing. And yet, people pay more for Tylenol because of the brand name and the trust that shoppers have in that brand. So don't be one of those. Just save your money, buy generic often for all consumable goods. 20, wait for deals on the items you need. When you spot a coupon to save money or buy stuff that you're gonna buy anyway at one point, then you're gonna save money when you wait for that deal. Otherwise, if you spend money on stuff just because it's on sale, you're gonna lose money because you're trying to take advantage of it. That's not gonna help save you money. If you can wait to buy an item at Costco, you can watch that price change over time. 21, only buy new clothes when you absolutely need them. It blows me away how much people spend on clothes. If you watch the budget video, you know it's between 2 and 5%. So many people are over on that part. Do you know how much it costs that designer to make a $300 shirt? About $1. Don't overpay. When you need to save money, pick function over fashion. As long as they still fit you, watch the clothes you have. I have shirts that are old enough to drive at this point. One thing before I go into the final point, share this video if you haven't already. I hope you're getting a ton of value of all of these money saving tips. And by the way, if you're new to our channel, just one dime, most of our videos are about playing offense. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss a single video on how to increase your income. I saved the most important point for last. 22, make the money in your savings work for you. Once upon a time, I was a bachelor, chilling in LA proper, making $17 an hour. It was the next job, a different job. When I thought, how do I save money for retirement? 401ks, certificates deposit, stocks, bonds, IRAs, what's the way to go? My parents didn't teach me that, and school didn't teach me that. So I took my life into my own hands and called my bank. So this guy, wish I knew his name. He stayed on the phone with me for 3 hours answering my questions about how to invest the money that I've saved. Huge shout out to my bank. From then on, I made money work for me.
How can it make money work for you, Jay? It's just papers and numbers.
Well, I'm not talking about hard labor. When you invest money, it can earn you more money. Today, I make passive income every day from investments. If you would like a full, in-depth video on how savings and IRAs work, let us know in the comments below. Please like this video and subscribe so you get more content like this in the future. One last point before I let you go. No one else is gonna help you but you. Whether you think there should be financial assistance from the government, etc., it's besides the point. Help is not coming. I'm sorry. You'll have to face hard times, and maybe you shouldn't have to. You may have to make sacrifices now for a life of financial freedom in the future, but it'll be worth it. Check out these 2 videos. Click here for a full tutorial on how to make a budget, plus a free budget spreadsheet template. Click here for a step-by-step strategy on how you can start your own business on Amazon when you're starting out with nothing. From Just One Dime, I'm Bryan Jones. You have an awesome day.